Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Before we get into this one, make sure you check out the classic football shirts. My affiliate link is in the description down below and use Leeds Lately 10 at checkout. Now today's video is about the transfer window and I'm going to be rating it, and the way this is going to work is I'm going to review every transfer, every player that's gone in and out of the club, and I'm going to give them a score out of 10, and at the end we are going to find out the average of all of those scores, and that will give us a rating for the transfer window. So instead of me just saying a number and just guessing at an 8 out of 10 transfer window, I'm going to do it mathematically. So let's go for the people who left first. So the first one we've got is Tyler Adams. Now Tyler Adams sold for £23 million in the end, which is slightly more than what we bought him for, and it did really help us out in profit and sustainability. Ideally, we would have liked to have kept him, but it did open the door, I think, for more transfers to come in. And really, now we've got Ampadu, did we really need him? So the fact that we were able to offload him and the fact that we were still able to get enough money for him, I'm going to give that one a 7 out of 10, I think. So let's write that down. 7 out of 10. Next one. Rodrigo left for £3 million, which is really not good considering we spent £27 million on him, but it did get the wages off the books and he would have been one of the most well-paid players at the club. So for me, this is an average transfer. We got the wages off the books. He never would have wanted to play in the Championship, and we managed to offload him and get some money at least back into him. I'm going to go a 5 out of 10 for that one. The next one is going to be Robin Koch, who went out on loan to Frankfurt, and he's actually going to leave for free after this because of the clause that he had in his contract. Terrible bit of business. This one is going to get... he gets the wages off our books. He wasn't that great anyway, so let's give it a 3 out of 10. Obviously, a lot of this isn't the club's fault. At the moment, it's the previous ownership's fault, so we can't be blaming them for that, but this is something that has been a big issue for Leeds. The next one, Verba went out on loan to Borussia Mönchengladbach after saying he would be staying at Leeds United and kind of committing his future to Leeds, and ended up going out in the end, which was a little bit of a kick in the teeth, shall we say, for Leeds fans. So we got his wages off the books again, but we could have really done with him. But we have brought in Joe Rodon, and Pascal Struijk seems to be playing really, really well now. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 because there's still potential that he comes back and then we can sell him and still make a little bit of money for him. Then we got rid of Tyler Roberts for $400,000. In the end, that's fine. 400k for Tyler Roberts, get him off the books. He was never really going to do anything at Leeds. We knew that. So that one is an 8 out of 10, I think, because at least we got some money for him and we were able to get him off the books, and we were never really going to play him, were we? So next one, Adam Forshaw went on a free. It would have been nice to keep Adam Forshaw, but since we've brought in Ilya Gruev and Kamara, which we'll get into later in the video, but for me, Adam Forshaw leaving on a free is not the end of the world. We wouldn't have made much money off him anyway. Gets his wages off the books, 7 out of 10. Joel Robles, thought he would have been good as a backup, but now we've got Meslier and Darlow to let him go on a free. That is fine. I don't mind that. That's a 7 out of 10. Brendan Aronson going on loan to the Bundesliga. We have to preserve his value, so he has to come back and we have to try and sell him again next season. But he wasn't good enough even for the Championship just because of how physical the league is. So getting Brendan Aronson out of the door and on loan is an 8 out of 10, I think. Jack Harrison, this one was a shame because I think Jack Harrison was one of our best wingers, especially crossing into the box for somebody like Pirro. That could have been really, really useful. He went on loan to Everton, and we will get him back and potentially maybe be able to sell him in the future again. So I think it's going to have to be a 5 out of 10 for that one because, like I say, got his wages off the books, got him out the door, gives the chance for a lot of our younger players to play, but really we should be getting some money for him, and I think we definitely can if we do get promoted again. Sinistera on loan, that was an awful one. He forced his way out in the end by threatening legal action, basically, and yeah, it's really disappointing for Leeds fans. We did get Jayden Anthony in return, which we'll go into a bit later on. But for me, Sinistera, it's got to be like a 2 out of 10, given the fact that he did it so late in the window, and it's so disappointing. Next one, Rasmus Christensen. He's having a bit of a stinker at Roma. Fans not liking him there. They didn't like him here. So the fact that we're able to get him out on loan and get rid of him for a season is probably an 8 out of 10, to be honest, because I think he would have been a liability even in this division. Although I did say right at the start of the season that he might have done all right in this division. I don't think he's a footballer. Mark Roca, this one's a shame because he's actually playing really well now. So I think it was quite system based why he was playing badly, and I think ironically in a Daniel Farke system he probably would play a little bit better. So this one's a bit of a shame. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Big wages, get him off the books, and he can revitalise his career. And if he does come back, we might be able to sell him for a bit more money than we bought him for. So that's decent as well. Sam Greenwood has gone on loan to Middlesbrough for the season. For me, that is like an 8 out of 10 because we're saying that we don't need him, and hopefully he gets a bit of game time and experience in the division. So hopefully that's good for his career. Cody Drama's gone on loan, but he's going to leave at the end of that time. I think it's a 7 out of 10 for me because we didn't need him. He was so bad when he played for Leeds. He's played well at other clubs, but really, if he's not going to play well for Leeds, that's it. We need to get rid of him. And we did. Got his wages off the books. Again, get rid of him. Sonny Perkins on loan to Oxford. I think it's a good shout to do that for him. For me, that's an 8 out of 10 because he gets to a lower league. He gets the chance to have a good run at the season, have a proper go at scoring some goals in a lower division, and hopefully that really helps his career as well. So that's the outgoings. Now for the incomings. First one, Joel Pirot. Now for me, 10 out of 10. The price, 12 million he came in for. It's what you've expected a Premier League club to probably pay 20 million for him if he'd have gone there. So 12 million for him, best striker in the Championship, absolute really, really good deal. And we really needed a striker. So for me, that's a 10 out of 10. Ethan Ampadu, 10 out of 10. Honestly, Ethan Ampadu, he's my favourite player now. I love a holding midfielder. I love the way they play, breaking up the play, tackling, passing, range of passing, absolute raking balls out to the left and right. Really, really good. And for only £7 million, we've got an absolute steal there. So good. Next one is Gruev. Now, I haven't seen a massive amount from him, but the fact that he's come in to be a backup to Ampadu is really, really good for me. The fact that we can have him in there and make sure that we've got cover, and he's supposed to be a very decent player, so I'm going to give that one an 8 out of 10. Next one, Glenn Kamara. Obviously, I did a video with a Rangers fan from the name of the podcast escapes me now, but go and check that out. It's on the channel. We talked about Glenn Kamara on there. Very good on the ball, apparently good on the turn, decent passing, not a number 10, out and out number 8 box to box. I think he will do really well for Leeds United. So for me, that's going to be a 7 out of 10 in this one, because I don't want him to come in and just take Archie Gray's spot. I want him to help and share the load, basically. Jed Spence, he's played 9 minutes of football for Leeds, but when you look at some of the statistics he came out with in those 9 minutes, he was really, really good. So for me, Jed Spence, with a loan fee of £1 million, he's going to be a 9 out of 10, because I think he's exactly what we needed to help out Luke Ayling, and to be able to actually make recovery runs as well as getting forward as well. So he's going to be really good. Carl Darlow for 400k, that is a 10 out of 10 for me. Now, people are clowning him a bit for his ability to save penalties, but you don't necessarily need to be able to save penalties to be a good keeper. It's not something that happens very often, and I think Carl Darlow is a good experienced pair of hands to be a backup for Meslier, and if anything happens to Meslier, he would come in and you would trust him, I feel. So for me, yeah, Carl Darlow is a 10 out of 10, especially for the fee. Sam Byram, he's obviously already got injured, but on a free, ability to play left back, being our best left back so far. I'm going to knock a few points off for the fact that he's so injury prone, but the fact we got him on a free knocks him up, so I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Loan fee for Anthony was non-existent because we swapped him sort of for Sinistera, but Jaden Anthony is actually a really, really good player. Don't sleep on him. If you want to check out my video from the other day, do so, because you'll get a bit of more of an insight into how Jaden Anthony plays, but I think he could be really good for us this season if he stays fit, which he probably will, because he usually does. So for me, Jaden Anthony, the fact that we were able to get him in at that time is going to be an 8 out of 10. The fact that we're still able to get a deal across the line. Joe Rodon as well, obviously he's played with Jed Spence at Spurs, but he also played with Jed Spence at Rennes in France, so they should have a good relationship, and he's already shown that he can make some game-saving tackles, play out from the back, decent on the ball, can dribble with it, can head it. He's got everything you would need as a centre-back in this system, which is exactly my video when I made it about him was perfect Farke centre-back. So for me, I'm going to give that one a 9 out of 10. I think that he's just such a good centre-back for this system, and it really, really helps us out in those situations. That is it for the ratings of everybody. You'll have seen them throughout the video, but I'm going to do an average now, so be back in a sec. So I have just done the maths, and that comes out at an average of 7.1. So let's say 7. So the transfer window has been a 7 out of 10 from Leeds Lately. That's how I feel, and I think that's a fair estimation actually. Now that I add them all together and divide them by the amount I've added to get the average, I think that's a fair estimation of how the transfer window's gone. It could have gone slightly better, but it has gone really well in general. If we are to go out in January and add a left back and a number 10, then this season as a whole, I think it brings it up to more of an 8 or a 9, especially because those would be 10 out of 10 transfers for me to get those in. This has been a bit of a different one, a bit of a strange one. Obviously, it only happens once or twice a year, the transfer window. So let me know what you think down below. Let me know if you disagree or agree with any of my scores, or how you'd rate the transfer window out of 10 in general. And yes, make sure you hit that button down below, because we're trying to hit 7K will be the next milestone, and then after that 10K by the end of the season. So yes, thanks for watching Leeds Lately, and I'll see you in the next one.